The program is still Good Morning Anambra, and we are delighted to welcome you still here. We have in the studio right now a Professor of Political Science, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Ibariam, Professor Obiajulu Obikeze, who is going to help us look at the topic of discussion, 2019 presidential candidates. Prof, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Anambra.
Good morning. It's good to have you around.
Thank you.
All right, the political scene is gathering momentum by the day. The stage is getting set ahead of the 2019 election with the emergence of flag bearers for each political parties for the presidential election come 2019. And now, Prof, you've seen what has been playing out in the primaries that is being held in Nigeria, in the country. How would you describe the outcome of the presidential primaries?
Well, if you look at the political scene, you will notice that more or less 2 major political parties have fielded their candidates, or their presidential candidates, APC and PDP. The rest may just be for them to just show their faces, the way I see it anyway, and then maybe the fun goes on. So we are happy they've been able to produce with little rancor throughout the country. But if you look at it generally, you see that we are still maturing, but we hope we get there.
Well, like you said, the 2 big parties have actually presented their candidates. We're talking about the APC and the PDP. The APC actually has the incumbent president as the main man. And of course, PDP, you know, the party who's going to be contesting against the APC has elected Atiku, Abubakar Atiku. Now, look at these 2 big parties. Okay, that's a picture. The president himself, you know. Now, looking at these 2 big parties, what lies ahead for Nigeria as regards to 2019 elections?
Well, I believe what lies ahead is there's going to be a big fight, a very impressive fight between the 2 candidates, APC candidate and that of PDP. You notice that both of them are from the north, one from the northeast, the other one, Atiku, from the northeast, and Buhari from the northwest. Both of them are Muslims. So these are some of the issues that we play out, and they've been playing out in Nigerian politics. In 2015, it was Jonathan must go, more or less. And almost everybody, conspiracy theory, played out. And almost everybody from the north, and even from the southwest, ganged up against Jonathan. And then it was certain he left. Now it's not north, and the fight is going to be deadly.
You said it's going to be a big fight. I wouldn't know why you use such word if it's not election any longer. A lot of people are saying that the opposition should try as much as possible to wrestle power from the incumbent. And this is what played out in 2015, if you remember, when they're saying, let him go, and let another person, and we started crying foul. What's your take about that?
Well, let him go, because Jonathan was from the south, or is from the south. And because Jonathan, people felt that he reneged as part of his agreement to just serve up to 2015 and leave. People from the north felt that he should have left after serving some part of Yar'Adua's administration, and then the other 4 years. I should have left. And then because he did not leave, they now said any other person but Jonathan. That was a slang in the northern parlance. Now that Jonathan has left, Buhari came in, and then people had hoped that Buhari would bring a lot of goodies for every person. And then when he was sworn in, he said he was for everybody and not for any person, showing that people thought he was going to carry everybody along. But from what he had done for the past 3.5 years or so, you notice now that we have not much has improved.
And what do you think of these expectations of Nigerians? When we expect this is what we want, and all our mind is gearing towards it. What do you think about the expectations of Nigerians?
Well, the expectations is that in Nigeria, per se, we do not play politics of ideology or politics of devoid of sentiment. We still notice that sentimental issues are still part of the things that guide our choice of candidates. So that's why I'm saying that it's going to be a big fight. Big fight in the sense that you notice both of them are from the north. So the issue of South-North dichotomy will be played down a little. And then both of them are Muslims. And so the issue of expectation is that people had wanted a situation where, in terms of political appointment, you reflect the character of Nigeria. In terms of positioning issues, in terms of the infrastructural development of the country, these things are not there on the ground after almost 4 years. And so Nigerians expect that the ordinary man in the street be able to get certain things he wants. And not just saying those things on pages of newspaper, things are improving yet. People are going hungry and that kind of thing.
All right, that brings me to my next question. In 2015, Nigerians generally was yearning for change, and up to now, I don't think they have seen the change they want. As regards to being positive, and now, it's time for another election. Now, let's not take it away from the fact that yes, we have the two big parties, the APC and PDP. Now, there are other parties who are actually also, have actually brought out their presidential candidates. We're talking about Sonore AAC. He's the presidential candidate of AAC, Mohalo, YPP, and of course, Obi Ezekwesili is also out. Donald Duke is also out for SDP. Now away from PDP and APC, these other candidates, what's your take on them?
Thank you very much. Well, if you look at the political equation of Nigeria, you notice that most parties that should go in for a very big fight, or rather contest, because she seems to be quarreling with this issue of the fight. Yeah. You notice that if in terms of permutation, any party that they've all selected that had failed to select from core north may not be doing anything very wonderful. The core north, northeast or northwest. And that's the advantage the two parties have. First, the question, who is a southeasterner? I don't know how we think we are going to make it at this point in time. That's one. For somebody from the south, again, you cannot guarantee that any person will replace Jonathan so soon. These are people who would want just to take it. Then from central part of Nigeria, again, it's also very dicey for any reasonable political party to select somebody from there, because these areas, for now, the kind of politics Nigerians are playing may not go in for a very serious fight, for a serious contest, either from the southeast, southwest, or south-south. So these are, and even not central. So that's what I'm saying, that the two political parties that have seemed to have selected people, the next thing is the issue of their running mates, which will also be a very big pointer to whatever they want to achieve.
All right. A former aviation minister, Fani Kayode, said something, and I quote, he said, "We need a strong man who can not only beat Buhari in his own backyard, but who can also defend his mandate. A man that is prepared to unleash his own army of dogs and baboons if he is rigged out." Now, this time around, Buhari will not be the only one threatening hell, fire, and brimstone.
Well, Atiku, we have known him in Nigerian politics right away from 1993 up to now. And he's from Adamawa State. And I think he's also a Fulani man. Buhari is from Katsina State, from Daura in particular, and also a Fulani man. And so these are some of the balancing things that you have to put into consideration. Then on the issue of the issue of their personalities, one seems to be younger. Buhari, they are in their 70s from the record we have. Buhari is in the 70s, Atiku is in the early 70s anyway. That's what we are told. But in terms of health-wise, you notice that Buhari, he hasn't a very, very sound health, naturally. We are not God, but from the way he has been going for the past 2 years, his health is a bit failing him. Atiku, maybe with the rigor of going into campaigns, he might also have problem because age is also not on his side. Then when you now consider other issues in terms of who gathers more popularity and what have you, Atiku has been in the game and he has strong structures in the west, in the east, and some other parts of Nigeria. But Buhari is just banking on the hope of some other of his lieutenants, especially for people from the southwest. So these are some of the issues. So in terms of, you can't threaten Atiku with the issue of being a Muslim. He's also a Muslim.
All right. Let's really come home a bit. You know, you said something earlier about Obi Ezekwesili coming out at this time that you don't really know her chances or our chances of getting there. Now, APGA has fielded their own presidential candidate in the person of Obo, what's that his name? Otobo. Now, I don't know, APGA fielding, what are the chances that we have with APGA being according to the national president, being the third largest party in Nigeria? What chances do they really have at this time?
Well, APGA is a great party in Nigerian parlance. But when we now consider the issue of politics is a game of number. Okay. And so we have now to reckon the spread of APGA in national equation. How many parties, or rather how many states do we have spread of APGA? Maybe somewhere in Nasarawa State or the North Central, some portion of North Central, Anambra State. We can't even talk about it in Enugu State or Imo and what have you. So these are some of the things we have to put into contention. But it's good that a political party should have national feel. That is, you feel a situation where you have to present yourself.
The APGA candidate is Major General John Ball.
Ball is from the central, not central. And that means that you now see that the catchment area of APGA and that kind of thing is very much zeroed down. But we are not saying that it's not going to make some impact. It's good to make some impact because you don't have to just stay at home pretending that you are a national party when you are not. By coming out to field a candidate, that will mean that APGA will, with time, mature to more better something. But for now, I don't know how it's going to make it.
Now we've actually seen a whole lot from parties defecting from one another. We know that Atiku recently, been emerging as the PDP flag bearer. We know he just defected from APC. He used to be a PDP man, but defected from APC. And it's just been between these two parties. Now, the youths have been clamoring about the not too young to run bill. We also know about some young guys who are actually coming out as the presidential candidate, talking about Mohalo, talking about Showore, also Donald Duke, At least these are young people, and we keep trying to compare ourselves with France, who has a young president at 40. Now, looking at this on ground, don't you think Nigerians should, go in the path of giving these other people a chance away from the big players? Because you talked about Atiku being a headsman, Buhari being a headsman. Well, as far as I'm concerned, politics, like people keep saying, is a game of interest.
Sure. And there's a word you use which it made me to just laugh, or rather smile. He said, don't you think Nigerians will just give?
Should give the opportunity.
Nobody gives something to somebody in politics. You don't think about giving. You have to struggle for it. It's something you have to struggle for. And as a matter of fact, Nigerian youths had never been left behind in Nigerian politics from colonial times. If you look at the 1922 elections, 1930-something elections to 50s and what have you, the youths had been very active. Zeke, Macaulay, and the rest of them, they all started as youths. Even Awolowo, they didn't start in their 50s or 60s. They started in their 30s.
Is that really playing out now?
That's exactly what is playing out. The only thing is that right now, because of the umbrella, or rather the shadow, which the older people are taking position of, they no longer have that wherewithal to penetrate and participate.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say is that the youths can only make it when they have the financial muscle, when they have the empowerment, when the older people will now say, come and mentor them. The problem we have in Nigeria is the issue of lack of ideology and lack of mentorship. And then the younger ones also to bend down and learn. Many of us are very interested in getting it quick, being doing that without learning the rudiments of politics.
All right. Let me come this way. Most of the candidates during their acceptance speeches, or those that congratulated those that picked the ticket, they were all of the opinion, or most of them were saying, let's rally together to make it work. Do you see the realization of those that did not pick the ticket coming together to rally around somebody like Saraki, somebody like people that run in the PDP, rallying around Atiku to make sure that they work together as a strong party, to win 2019 election?
Well, some of these things are very subjective because we are in social sciences. You can never be so sure of human beings. That is very natural. But the issue is that, to me, I don't think they have any choice than rallying around. They can't go back to APC now. And then they won't go to form a new party now that will outplace either APC or PDP. So if I were, then the best thing is to rally around, realign, encourage, support, cooperate with one another, and then be able to make it. If they have to go back to APC, they will be worse off. And then I don't think the best thing, as we have said, is to support the person they have picked, unless they're announcing that it was rigged and that it wasn't a generally accepted person.
And, so many people came out for these primaries, and everybody that came out had in mind to win the primaries. Now, there is this allegation, of vote buying in the primaries that was just held. And I was of the opinion, I was asking, if this could happen in primary, what are the expectations of or what will 2019 election look like in terms of keeping to standards when it comes to election?
Well, in politics, world over, money is very important.
Really?
Yes, there's no need. You cannot rule out the issue of money. But the issue of going to the field, to the polling booth to buy vote, is what does not play much part in other climes. Buying of votes with cash, that is part of what we are now witnessing. In the past, it was using salt, using cloth, using rice, and what have you. But these days, it's now very clear abandonment of the past to clear cut of spreading. I learned it wasn't even Naira, because Naira is very bulky to carry about. With some pieces of dollars, you can carry just about millions of dollars. So that's exactly what is happening. So the issue of vote buying, it has to be a matter of conscience. We are Nigerians, we know what they want. So that even if they collect money, you don't vote because you've been paid.
Or sell your conscience.
Or sell your conscience. So it's a matter of conscience. So, and what I want to say on that is that people give money to be voted for. Some people even use guns. During the primary, we noticed a situation where guns were used, shooting of guns, and then people will do whatever they want and declare the result. And once you declare it, you have nothing or nothing to do about it. So that is even worse.
All right, for want of time, we can go on and on, considering what has played out in the presidential primaries. But at this point, we'd like to thank you so much, Professor Obiajulo Obikeze, for coming on the show. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, it's good to have you. Well, not too long, the 2019 elections will kickstart. Let's see how it plays out.